What you're about to see will surprise you. Let's dive into Neighbor tells 12-year-old to get out of pool, police called. Divorce unsettles kids. After nearly 20 years together, Aaron and Mariah Freeman split, and their 12-year-old daughter Jada felt her footing go. Her parents tried to keep things steady, but a normal afternoon at her dad's apartment pool blew up and left the family shaken. She finds a friend in the garden. While poking around the communal garden, Jada met Cassie, a tall, upbeat girl with eye-catching sneakers. They clicked right away and soon played together every time Jada stayed with her dad. That new friendship made visits feel less tense and gave Jada something to look forward to. It was the small, ordinary comfort she needed. Pool afternoon turns ugly. Woman intervenes. On a hot weekend, the girls were joking in the pool when a woman named Jenny marched over and told them to get out, snarling that they did not belong. Cassie pushed back and a splash landed near Jenny, who then called the police and accused them of trespass and assault. Sirens arrived minutes later and 2 officers began questioning 2 frightened kids. What should have been a quick chat turned into a scary scene for Jada. How neighbors and parents helped heal. One calm neighbor speaking up stopped the escalation and exposed Jenny's claim, showing how a single truth can change a scene. Aaron and Mariah teamed up to reassure Jada, keeping routines and open communication so she had predictable touchpoints. Recovery came in small steps, not a headline moment, and friends like Cassie mattered. The episode is a reminder that adults can either make things worse or help kids move past a scary day. Adjusting to her new life. Slowly but surely, Jada started adjusting to her new family situation. Aaron worked from home, so Jada went to his apartment every day after school until Mariah came home from work. She also stayed there every other weekend. It was a beautiful, upscale apartment complex with a pool, a gym, and a doorman, and Jada felt very special skipping down the halls with their polished marble tiles, expensive wallpaper, and huge mirrors. She still wished her parents could just live together, but she decided that this was an okay alternative. Playing in the pool. One weekend, Jada and Cassie were playing in the pool. Aaron had popped out to buy some groceries for lunch, and the 2 girls were entertaining themselves, taking turns doing handstands in the water. Jada was roaring with laughter as her friend toppled over. It was a hot day, and the water was cool and refreshing, the perfect way to spend a Saturday. There were a few people sunbathing on the loungers around the edge of the pool, but no one took any notice of Jada and Cassie. However, that didn't last for long. Meet Jenny Beaumont. The next person to arrive at the pool was Jenny Beaumont. She was wearing a trendy red cover-up and designer sunglasses. She took one look at the girls playing in the pool, and her lip curled into a sneer. Jenny hated kids, and she wasn't about to let these ones ruin her Saturday sunbathing session. She marched up to the edge of the pool, her high-heeled mules clacking on the tiles. The confrontation. Jenny crouched down and motioned to the girls to come over. Confused, they swam over to her. She looked directly at Jada and said sweetly, "Honey, this pool is for residents only, so why don't you just hop right out and go back to where you came from?" Jada was taken aback. There'd never been a problem with her using the pool before. She knew she wasn't technically a resident, but her dad did live there. Maybe this woman was getting her confused with someone else. "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but my dad lives in apartment 25, so it's all okay," she replied nervously. Jenny was glaring at her when Cassie piped up. "Jada has every right to be here. Her dad lives here, I live here, and she's my friend. You can't do anything, so we're just gonna keep on playing in the pool. If you don't like it, then maybe you should go away," she said defiantly. Jenny started spluttering, her face turning red with fury. Jada and Cassie didn't know that she was only getting started. "If you girls don't get out of that pool this instant, then I am calling the police. I mean it. I will call the police and you will be arrested for trespassing. Now I'm giving you one more chance. Get out now!" Jenny screamed. But emboldened by Cassie's bravery, the girls simply swam away. They didn't need to deal with this aggravation. Jenny obviously had issues, that was for sure, but they weren't doing anything wrong. And they knew she was bluffing. What would she even say to the police? Jenny's rage. Jenny's pristine poolside outfit was spattered with a couple of drops of water. She looked murderous. "Okay, girls, that's it. I've tried asking nicely, but you're obviously too dumb to understand the situation. I'll get someone else to spell it out for you," she snapped. She took out a cell phone and started dialing, very obviously, 3 numbers. She wasn't bluffing this time. She was really calling the cops. Jada was terrified, and even Cassie looked a little worried now. Hello, officer? Yes, I'd like to report a crime. There's a teenager trespassing in my apartment complex. She's jumped in the pool and is causing disturbance to the residents. I asked her to leave and she violently refused and tried to assault me. Please send someone to remove her now, Jenny said without even a moment of hesitation. She then gave the address and hung up the phone. Right, let's see how you girls get on with law enforcement. Perhaps you'll respect them a little more than you've respected me, she spat. Being questioned. A few minutes later, the girls heard sirens wailing and a police car pulled into the apartment complex. 2 police officers got out, a man and a woman, and Jenny waved them over. That's her, officers. She's been trespassing for the last hour and she needs to be removed from the premises, Jenny told the police. Is this true, young lady? Are you allowed to be here or not? Please get out of the pool while we ask you a few questions, one of the officers said to Jada. Jada felt tears welling up in her eyes. She was in trouble now. Young lady, can you prove that you have a family member living here? Where's your key? They asked. But Jada had left her key upstairs in the apartment. She wouldn't be able to get back in until her dad came home with the groceries. I left it upstairs, she replied tearfully. But the officers didn't look convinced. We have a witness here who says she saw you climb over the fence. Can you confirm whether this is the truth? Trespassing is a serious offense, and we take it very seriously. If you can't prove that you have a family member living here, then you'll have to come with us, they said to Jada. Aaron comes home. Just then, Jada noticed the sound of a familiar car engine pulling into the apartment complex. Her dad was home. She breathed a sigh of relief. He would sort everything out. Aaron slammed the car door and started making his way inside, his hands full of grocery bags. As he glanced over to the pool, he saw Jada standing there, dripping wet, 2 police officers towering over her. He dropped the bags and sprinted over to the poolside. He couldn't understand what had happened. Assuring the officers, Aaron drew himself up to his full height. Listen, officers, my name is Aaron Freeman. I live in apartment 25. This is my residence permit card. This is my daughter Jada and her friend Cassie, who also lives here. Let me assure you that not only is Jada perfectly permitted to be here, but she's also only 12 years old and has never been the slightest bit violent in her life. The only person here who's committed a violent act is Miss Beaumont in trying to get my daughter arrested. Not to mention that she's wasting your valuable time with this baseless accusation, he said to the cops. Aaron glared at Jenny, his face like thunder. However, he didn't know she had one last trick up her sleeve. Jenny fights back at Aaron and then fixed her face into a mask of concern. She wasn't going to go down that easy. Well, officers, perhaps she's not trespassing, but the fact of the matter is that these girls are under 16 and they were swimming unsupervised. This flagrant disregard for their safety is truly the crime here, she said smugly. But the officers looked unconvinced. Miss Beaumont, that's enough from you today. You've already wasted enough police time. Please return to your apartment and don't worry yourself any more about these girls, they told her. The revelation. Then Jenny opened her mouth to start arguing, but another neighbor who'd been watching the situation unfold approached. Yes, Jenny, you wouldn't want to keep Archibald waiting now, would you? I mean, you only get him on weekends when Marion's out of town, don't you? She said waspishly. I mean, I don't know what you're getting all bent out of shape about with these sweet girls using the pool. You're not a resident here either, the lady continued. Cassie and Jada looked at each other in amazement, and Jenny turned bright red. Not a resident. As the officers left, the neighbor who had exposed Jenny's secret approached Jada and Cassie with a smile. Sorry you had to deal with that, girls. Some people just can't stand to see others having fun. You two are always welcome here in the pool, she said to the girls. Jada and Cassie thanked her, grateful for the unexpected support. Aaron was a little less enthused, irritated that the neighbor hadn't intervened sooner. His daughter had been verbally assaulted and interrogated by the police, and he knew that it was going to take a long time for her to recover. Still worried. As Aaron predicted, Jada was shaken up by her hostile encounter with Jenny and the police. She no longer skipped down the marble hallways in the apartment complex, and she didn't want to use the pool at all. She still saw Cassie, but preferred her to come and visit the apartment rather than roaming around outside together. Aaron was concerned. His usually bright and bubbly daughter had become withdrawn and anxious. He needed a plan. Back in the pool. With the support of her parents and the help of Cassie, Jada slowly regained her confidence. A few weeks later, she finally felt ready to return to the pool. They chose a quieter time of day to avoid any potential run-ins with Jenny. To their delight, they found a friendly community at the pool, with other families and children welcoming them warmly. If Jenny ever did show up again, they would be ready. What we can learn from this. This episode is a clear reminder that small, everyday moments can leave big marks on a kid. Jada did not need a lecture or a patrol. She needed adults to act like adults. Her parents, imperfect as they are, stepped up together to make her feel safe again. That steady, practical care is often what helps children move past a scary day. Why community response really matters. The neighbor who spoke up changed the tone of the whole incident. One calm, truthful voice cut through a lot of noise and stopped things from getting worse. Communities are made up of people who can either escalate or diffuse a scene, and this one chose to diffuse. That kind of intervention matters more than grand gestures, confrontation, reputation, and social consequences. Jenny's behavior humiliated Jada and exposed a contradiction in her own status. When a confrontation backfires, it can leave the aggressor embarrassed and isolated, which is a small consequence but still real. That does not fix the harm done to the child, but it can be a moment for others to call out bad conduct. Accountability in everyday life often starts with neighbors refusing to look the other way. Looking back at it all, what sticks with me is how ordinary this day looked until it didn't. Two kids laughing in the pool, a stranger's sneer, and suddenly a 12-year-old is tremoring on the deck while officers ask questions. Small actions by adults tilted the scene one way or the other, and that is the real story here. The adults around Jada ultimately steadied her, but it took time and intention. Why parenting in tandem helped. Aaron and Mariah didn't fix the divorce, but they rallied around their daughter when it counted. Their coordinated response gave Jada a predictable place to land after the shock. Routine, steady presence, and quick communication between them turned out to be the practical remedy she needed. That kind of teamwork is low drama but high impact. Small wins matter most. Recovery didn't happen overnight. Jada's first return to the pool was not a headline moment, just a quiet swim when she felt ready. Those tiny victories added up until the fear loosened its grip. Friends like Cassie and patient adults created the conditions for that slow turning point. Long story short, this was an ordinary afternoon that turned sharp because of one adult's anger. What mattered most was not the sirens, but how the adults around Jada responded afterward. Her parents steadied her, a neighbor spoke the truth, and a scared girl slowly got back to being a kid. Those small acts did the real work. How parents can help after a scare. Aaron and Mariah didn't fix the divorce, but they made a plan to help Jada feel safe. They kept routines, stayed in close touch, and chose low-pressure ways to reconnect. When a child feels shaken, predictable adults and gentle choices matter more than speeches. Let them set the pace and keep showing up. What kids keep from moments like this. Incidents like this leave small, stubborn marks. Jada stopped using the pool for a while and walked more carefully through the halls. That kind of withdrawal is common and slow to shift. Recovery happens in tiny steps, not a single brave splash.